Hey everybody, welcome to More Than Meets These Guys. Ordinarily, we're a podcast covering the original Transformers animated series from three different perspectives: the lifelong fan, the clueless outsider, and the lapsed but returning fan. But currently, we're turning the tables and doing a side journey into our Robotech. We'll be covering the series episode by episode and also digging into the production and cultural impact of the show. My name is Ed. I'm a lifelong fan, joined here as usual by my tag team partners, the Freebirds, Evan and Jehu.
Hey, can we be
How's
the,
it
the
going?
Bushwhackers? I always love their dance, man, their walk.
There was only two of those. I was going for a thing with three
Well,
guys.
I know,
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
free
All
The
right,
bird.
good point, good
Freebirds
point.
came up
Well,
first.
what was their song? Bad Street USA.
Yes, Bad Street USA. Yeah, and a friend of mine, friend of the show, Lee, actually turned me on to like a podcast called Nightmare on Bad Street that covers that era of wrestling. He said it's pretty awesome, and they talked about some really obscure local wrestling from like the late '80s from here that I actually have that I'm 90% certain I have a picture of myself in the crowd when I was 12 or 13 years old.
Zero doubts.
Did you see the astonishing Adrian Street?
The exotic Adrian Street. He
Exotic
didn't wrestle
Adrian
at
Street. Sorry,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he didn't wrestle at that. That was he wrestled at a thing here called Continental Championship Wrestling.
I just remember seeing him on TV a lot, so I just assumed if you went and saw local wrestling, you.
I did see him, and I waited on it. Like later in life, I waited on him and
Oh,
his
right on.
Miss Linda like several times, and
Right.
he was always a super nice guy. And once when I used to work at a bookstore, and he came in asking for he wanted Pure Moods on compact disc because he's legit from England or
Right.
Wales or something like that, and he had that accent. He's like, "Do you have Pure Moods on compact disc?" But that dude, um he was legitimately like probably 5'2".
Right. He was a short
He
dude.
was he was very small. And from what I have been told, though, he was probably the legitimately toughest dude
Yeah.
that ever wrestled because A, he was small, and B, his gimmick was that he was a cross-dresser.
Right.
And so he had to, like in the 60s, 70s, and in the 80s in the South, man, you had to, if you were going to do that, you had to back that up because dudes were gonna give you all kinds of crap.
It's like
I always liked his gimmick though, because there were a lot of, like gender bender cross wrestling type wrestlers, but as an adult looking back on most of them, they're a little cringy, they're a little homophobic,
Hmm.
but his just sort of felt kind of like glam rocky.
He was real. He was real like Brit glam rock. I can totally see that. But he came out with a woman that was
Right.
legitimately his wife.
Right.
And
I like I said, I remember him a lot. I think it was Channel 5 after cartoons were over. They would show the local-ish wrestling around here, and he was always on it, and he was a favorite of mine.
he ruled. Well, it came on. I know for a while it came on like Channel 15 because there was, or maybe it was Channel 5. I don't know because I know that on Saturday mornings after cartoons from 10 to 11 you could watch Continental. From 11 to
Right.
12 you could watch WWF Superstars, and then from 12 to 2 it was Kung Fu Theater. And so
Right.
it was like 4 straight hours of just like fake fighting, and like I loved it.
Right.
Um, Now, this thing was the other thing that I was talking about was a thing called like WOW. It was World Organization Wrestling. That yeah, apparently
Not to be confused with the women of
women of
wrestling.
wrestling, right,
Yeah.
right. But it has some shady origins apparently, and it was like sort of a get rich quick thing. But they whoever was the money behind it actually got some, like, I don't want to say big names, but he got like Wahoo McDaniel and
Oh, yeah.
like the Rock and Roll Express, which I mean they're from here, so it was like
Right.
I think they were just on vacation and they just
Right.
over
Okay.
here. But if you go back and watch it, there's like a lot of like Yokozuna was there, like Bob Holly wrestled there for a
Right.
while, so it was like, oh
Well,
okay,
Bob Holly's from Mobile.
right, exactly.
Now, I
So
saw him in an Army Navy store one time, and he did not look like he wanted to be approached, so I did not.
no, I wouldn't approach him either. Having seen what I've seen him do in the ring, I wouldn't approach him either.
Mm.
So yeah. But yeah, so yeah.
Very cool.
Outside of that, yeah.
I I definitely wish I would have known as a kid that we had kind of a wrestling scene here because I just didn't understand that.
The only reason I knew about it is because that one, that WOW, ran out of a like a converted gas station or something
Hmm.
like that over in by the middle school that I went to,
Yeah, it
and
was over there on
so
the west side of town, right? Like southwest
yeah,
side of town.
it was over in Brownsville.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But
remember, y'all, when I was in ninth grade, there was this girl and she was taller than everybody else in the class. So I think maybe she might have been having to take like a remedial, like social studies class or whatever this was or something.
Bless her
But
heart.
she was also more sophisticated than the rest of us in that sort of way of someone who maybe is exposed too much to adults at a young age.
yeah, I know the type.
And she just had all these pictures of her with wrestlers.
Oh,
And
oh
and I
no.
remember at the time,
That's
because I was an extra naive kid, despite growing up in like some pretty shady areas, I was just like, aw shucks. And I just remember thinking, wow, she's a really big fan of wrestling. Not that I was seeing the evidence of maybe some really dark stuff.
Oh, well, that was your first encounter with a ring rat,
Right,
as they call them.
exactly, exactly. But I think like an underage ring rat.
Yeah, well, they
I did.
most of them were. Most of them
Yeah.
were. But
I didn't
see,
know there
okay,
was a
so
term.
oh yeah, that's the term. That's the term for ring
Oh.
rats. Uh,
A lot
well,
lizard, ring rat, sweet. I love this, man.
I
I learned
wonder
so much from this.
because it was like we're about the same age, so I wonder there was a girl that I went to middle school with that this girl just like was obsessed with the Rock and Roll Express. She loved the Rock and Roll Express. She had the record and everything because those who's made a record that's hilarious, but she loved those dudes, but like she was nice. We talked about wrestling a lot, but she was just like way into like Ricky and Robert. But there was a time where we were like we had to like do the thing in class where you're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everybody's like, oh, I'm going to be a basketball player. I'm like, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be a doctor. And she said, and it was so weird because she was like, and blah blah blah, and this and this, and then when I grow up, I want to be a cook at Hardee's. The teacher was like, wait a minute, did you say a cook at Hardee's? And she's like, yeah, my sister's been working there for 5 years.
You know,
It was like, okay.
look, those are attainable
This girl
dreams,
seems
man.
like my people. I
That's an
like her
attainable
already.
dream. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
I mean,
I hope she
managed expectations.
I mean, I
Yeah.
hope she did it. I hope that was
Oh, me
I hope
too,
she had a
man.
good
I
career.
love that for her. I don't know who she is, but I love it for her.
Mm.
Yeah, because unlike her, I had to have a long wait for a good career.
Mm.
See what I did there? See, I did the segue. I did the segue
Uh,
to the episode
that's
title, and
yeah.
the long wait. And buddy, it was a long wait for this episode to get good. And
Did it get good?
we're gonna go ahead and just head this off. This episode is garbage, and I hated it. And let's just go home for the day. I'm done.
It's great for the wrong
I
reasons.
can't wait to talk about this episode.
Oh, it's so
Um,
oh.
I'm actually I'm going to I'm gonna skip the history lesson today. And we're just gonna go right into this one. Because yeah. Uh yeah. Once again, we have the hardest opening credits of all time, and this is the best part of the episode.
And man, this week's recap was concise.
Yeah.
It was very, it
Let's
was
trim that thing
basically
down.
the captain screwed up. Here we are.
Well, it ruled because the recap started with him just yelling, "Execute the fold," and then
Yeah.
Captain Rubble executed the fold. You're like, oh, okay, cool. What a cool thing. What a cool thing.
You know, you gotta appreciate that. It's like it is a very Adama thing. Like launch the fighters, activate the fold. Same energy, man. I love it. If you ever watch Extra Squad, Admiral Winfield, launch the E-frames. I love that, man. Just it's iconic.
It was, yeah.
That's the best thing about this episode, and it was last episode. So yeah, man.
This is the best thing about this. You are correct.
Well, no. In ways, there are some other great parts of this, but we'll get into that.
So we cut down to last week last episode we left off with Rick and Minmay had crashed Rick's fan jet into like an unknown hold in the SDF-1 and after they had blasted into space. But keep that in mind because they knew they were in space, and we talked about it, how having to fly through space. So keep that in mind for a little bit here. But like, dude, they're filthy. They've got so many. Dude, they have so many tic-tac-toe boards drawn on them. They're filthy. They're disgusting.
Cross hatching everywhere.
Dude, there's all kinds of. They're so dirty. They've been down here for like a couple hours. And they've got filthy, like dirty,
But,
dirty kids.
yeah. And she's worried. She's like all thirsty, and he's like, I don't have any water, but I got rations. And that's cool, but I hate to tell Rick this. You kind of need water first, man. But I don't think he's a survivalist.
Well, I mean, he covers that later.
They talk about that.
Yeah, he does. He gets there.
He didn't get the survival badge in nature whatever
Nature Scouts, because he was
Nature
sick.
Scouts.
He was
Yeah,
sick,
so
he was sick that day. But
He was almost a nature scout here soon, which is really creepy. But go ahead.
he does have a real sick watch though, called a Heiko. And the off-brand Japanese brands in anime is something that I love. I love seeing Pony brand televisions, and I love seeing this. And Panasonic, I love seeing this in anime. It's so cool. It's all over Akira. If you ever watch it, if you ever pay attention to Akira, it's all over Akira. So this was pretty cool. But apparently, it's a watch with a built-in compass on it, and there's a really dumb exchange with Minmay thinking that when he said compass, he meant like a drawing compass, and she's making this like.
She's like, I like the way the pieces of metal come together and they point.
This is the episode where we really start to get what a ditzy broad Minmay is.
That's
like
such a great way to put it.
My note on this is this B don't know about compasses? Like that was my note for this.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like I knew about like directional compasses way before I knew about
100%. I didn't know about drawing compasses till like the 7th or 8th grade, but at that point, I had watched like 1,000 episodes of Lassie or Gentle Ben where compasses came into the plot.
I will tell you
several compasses because A, I was in Scouts, but B, because like I mean they were adventure things and they were cool.
Right. Oh, yeah, well, I was never in Scouts, but you know what I had? I had a Rambo set with a knife and a compass and that little like necklace with a little green guy on it or whatever it is.
I know the one.
Yes, I had that compass for a long time, so I too, without being a Scout, had it was legit.
The compass, yeah. See,
Evan, I 100% had that Rambo knife. It was such a piece of garbage.
It was
they
terrible.
just gave that to kids. That's a stabbing knife. That is a knife for stabbing. That's not a knife for like arts and crafts or eating your food. It's just for stabbing a man.
That's one, and it's gonna rip up in there with that serrated edge. I mean, it's a bad knife. And
man,
Rambo was a bad guy.
Those knives were terrible. And I had one of those also, but like I got mine from the flea market, and where, as I'm sure you guys probably did also growing up in the South. The one that I got was like, I guess it was like factory second or something, and they were super cheap. So like you could either pick from the compass, the ball compass, not having enough fluid in it, so it wouldn't work, or you could have a loose blade.
Yeah.
So mine had the loose blade, but
the compass was usually just decorative.
Right.
Flea markets in the 80s were just straight up like just the black market. They were just like, you could just go buy something, nunchucks, butterfly knives, whatever.
Yeah. Ninja suit. You can ninja suit like cassettes.
You remember the second
100%. Like people think Napster invented stealing music. My first 3 cassettes were like a 3 for 10 dubbed cassettes. Van Halen 1984, ZZ Top Eliminator, and Huey Lewis and News Sports.
That's a
good first 3 records to get, right? Those are all bangers.
That's really, yeah. I remember I got Girls by Mom.
That's a good one.
And I was real mad because my friend had a legit copy, and like his was the cassette was nice. It was like clear and everything,
Oh yeah.
Mine was white. And like it had a photocopy cover. I was real mad.
All these photocopy covers were from the era of one color. So like,
totally.
1984 was green, Eliminator was red, that sort of thing.
I was going to back up though. Y'all remember the sack and save that was on Fairfield, right?
I was just talking about this 2 days ago.
So
Go ahead.
That's where I got my actual branded Rambo knife, compass, and necklace, and that's freaking compass. Oh, sorry, that Smurf and compass worked. I had it. That's why I held it so long. It was had like Sylvester Stallone on the front going, ugh, and all sweaty and stuff. Yeah, it worked, man. And it was you cheapos and your flea market stuff, but also that's actually going to the cassette thing. That's actually how I discovered Metallica. My brother came back from Ramstein Air Force Base in the Air Force, brought back a bunch of like random like copied tapes. And there was this black one I found, and there was just like faded out things, but probably been copied over 5 times. That's where her Master Puppets. So I was like, this is
Right.
awesome. I had no idea who it was. I listened to it for a long time. Someone was like, I didn't even listen to that. Like, what is it, dude? Because I had no idea. Because, I listened to Motley Crue.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so they're trying to rescue these two aircraft carriers. They have when they folded into space, they carry two aircraft carriers with them, and
Mm.
that's apparently an emergency. But I don't know because they don't cover it. Nothing because they talk about it for like about 3 seconds, and then we go back to then Roy Fokker comes on the radio, and this dude is this dude's a military. This dude fought in the global civil war. This dude is like so he wants to go look for Rick. Captain Global, like, no. We have 70,000 survivors that are more that we have to rescue. And he pitches a fit, and well, I guess 70,000 survivors are more important than my friend. Like, yeah,
Yeah, they kind of are.
I wrote down for this. Roy is not cut out for military. Like, he has shown, except for being very good at like flying and killing, he's good at no other part of military.
He's Maverick. That's what he is.
I mean, he has a complete disdain for like the chain of command and authority.
Right.
But then again,
or any rules at all.
Oh yeah, he's going to invite his friend. He's going to he that haircut is definitely not regulation. He's hooking up with bridge crew. This dude, this dude should be kicked out. But then again, he was a jet double ace in a day. Hey, well,
let him get away with it.
Right. So and that's about the last we see of the that's the last we hear of Roy in this episode, and that's the last we hear of anything related to a Veritech fighter in this episode.
There's more important stuff going on down below decks, obviously.
Well, we get a cool Rick and Minmay find a cool window, and they look at a bunch of junk floating in space, and here's where they're like, "Are we just floating in space?" Yes, dog. You guys flew the plane from space into the spaceship. In the last episode, you knew you were in space. This is not a surprise. This is nothing new.
And by the way, this is the second time he's had to explain to her what space is.
Because I think you said it best. We found out what a ditzy broad she is in this episode.
Oh, God. She's a total dingbat. Although, on the junk floating in space, there was a truck with a giant swordfish painted on the side of it, and that was really cool. I really like that truck with a swordfish.
I think I spotted a pair of underwear.
Oh, I think you did.
But I think they were a really big pair of underwear. Like maybe they were Zentradi underwear.
There's the scale of some of the stuff out there is a little rough.
Are we going to see some of that later?
Yeah, it's like Transformers Sunbow rough scale. So let's get into that.
Do you think that Zentradi wear underwear?
I mean, I don't know. I just know that was a really big pair of underwear.
Yeah.
I wonder if they wear them. I wonder if they wear underwear.
Magic underwear, man. They going to live on their space planet later on in the afterlife, and that's how Zentradi are. You didn't get this part of the canon? Oh man, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Space Mormons. They're fine.
There's
nothing wrong with them. They're nice people, man. They're really nice people. I don't agree with everything they think, but they're nice people. I give them a pass.
They're good people. They're good people.
Yeah.
Good people. Well, so they try to get some water. So this goon Rick takes a metal rod and just pries a water pipe off the wall. Like, my dude, you are in space. You are on an experimental spaceship. You do not want to break the spaceship while you're in space. Who knows? Right. How do you know that's water? First of all,
it could be cool.
It was water coming out of it, but that could have been condensation. That could have been like a fuel.
That could have been raw sewage.
Coolant. That could have been hydraulic fluid. It could have been anything. But I'm just going to pry this thing off the wall. Don't break the spaceship while you're in space.
The whole block lost water pressure for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And what about the toilets that's connected to? What about the sinks? Like, what are those people?
Right. Exactly. You don't know that's the water pipe going to the toilet. It could be the water pipe going from the toilet.
Right.
And they're gonna have a nice shower.
Good man, I found some poop. Here.
Oh, Rick, you're so funny.
Also, and I had no idea when I wrote this down that it was going to be pale in comparison to what would come very soon after. But when Minmay helps him, she like very dramatically takes off her shoes, and I was like, "Oh, here's our pervert moment. This one's for feet pervert."
Oh, yeah, it gets so much worse.
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
I say I thought it was weird that they put that much animation into taking the shoes off. It was like,
no, it's not weird.
like
Come on, it's Japan, dude.
could I have
She's
gotten
14 years old. It's Japan.
could I have gotten some missiles or something here instead?
No,
Like something blowing up, but no, I get her taking her shoes off.
no,
Lovingly
they'll use
animated.
stock footage for missiles going flying off, but they're gonna take time to animate this.
I mean, there's a couple times in this episode where they just show pictures.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
they definitely fully animated her taking off her shoes.
There's
frame by
things
frame.
floating in space that are just pictures. You know, they're just like putting something in front of the cell. Like, oh, that's good. Yeah, but they took time with them feet.
They got the Akira staff to come in and animate her.
Right.
Oh
So-
God, I'm
we
glad I'm
need
not the only one that notices stuff.
So
50 frames per second on the shoes coming off.
So we've talked about this a few times on here that when you were a kid watching these, you would be watching them usually on a UHF station, and whether or not you could see the thing was haphazard from day to day.
Oh yeah.
So I remember this next part. I remember it, and this is almost like I didn't remember. I remember it too. It's like the turn in The Usual Suspects or something. Like I mean, it was like I remember that and thinking. So basically, what I'm getting to is, guys, we get to see a full on butt here.
Yep.
We get to see one
Lin
button.
Min May decides to take a shower, and she does a little pirouette in it, and you see a straight up butt. And I can remember seeing this as a kid on like a day when the TV was sort of fuzzy and thinking, I didn't really see a butt. I imagine that, but because that would happen a lot on UHF, because also
Yeah.
at night they'd show movies, and because of the fuzz, you'd sort of delude yourself into believing, hey, I just saw an unedited part. They skipped the bleep button, and I got to see it.
Yeah.
And I think I thought that's what this was, but I really saw a butt as a kid. I want this is what I want the time machine for. I want to go back and tell me, hey, you really saw an animated butt this afternoon. That really happened.
Change your life. And that's the thing, man. This whole exchange where I don't know, it's like Rick's just standing there. He goes, huh. And he just watches her. She's like, Rick, you want to get out of here?
I'll also say, Ed, a few weeks ago, you had pointed out that I could watch these on YouTube. So this was the first episode I watched on YouTube. And we got to that part, and I'm like, okay, I don't trust this. Somebody's changed this for YouTube. I'm getting out my DVD. And no, it was a real butt. It was really there.
It's on the iTunes version also. And yeah, no, I was as shocked as you were. I don't remember. I have no memory of this, even though this is the episode, as I've said before, this is the episode where I check out. And I'm like,
Right.
it's done, or I skip it. And yes, but you know who else saw that butt? That pervert Rick was sitting there peeking through the hole in the little shower curtain.
Oh,
Like, he was 15 years old.
This is really nice, though. It happened early enough in the episode where you saw it before your grandpa came home, so it wasn't so embarrassing.
Right, exactly. 100%.
Good job, man.
20 more minutes and this would have been real sweaty.
What would Odell have done? What would Odell have done if he saw you watching the anime butt?
I don't know, because I mean, he might have liked that, it's like, okay, well, at least this is some sort of,
How old is she?
straight male behavior here. I actually think shit that happens later in this episode would be way more scary for him to walk in on. But we'll get to that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, at least it wasn't like Lancer or Yellow Dancer or something like that.
Yeah, well,
That's where I would have just like not wanted.
Those are episodes I checked out on there.
But this is unfortunately this is about where this episode just grinds to a halt, and I'm just oh my god, I'm nodding off. I'm sleepy.
Man, Well, Rick shows how bad of a survivalist he is. Like she's like, shouldn't we like make their food last when they're eating? He's like, no, no, we're gonna be risking any day now. This is fine. Starts
Yeah,
munching this
yeah.
can of like rations. She's like, let's save mine. He's like, all right, whatever, and he chows down.
Yeah, at
And
that point I was like, okay, this chick makes some sense.
yeah,
I
she
love,
Like, you
yeah.
know,
yeah, she
I,
knows.
I think
Unfortunately,
also in this, by the way, I have a theory about this episode. I have a theory that initially this was all Rick and Minmay, and then they went back and added the other stuff because they thought maybe that, this wasn't going to keep anybody's attention for a full 22 minutes. Because some of the cut-ins are really random. Like there's one where they just cut in of everybody getting coffee. And
that's right.
and
They have
it's
the SDF1
it's
branded
it's
mugs
pretty
too.
Man,
it's pretty sexist because as soon as these chicks get coffee, they just immediately start talking crap. Like it's just immediate gossip.
so
I want a mug like
they
that.
do, but they have these sweet SDF1 like merch coffee mugs. These are great. But
100%.
did
I
you guys
want that.
notice that they also had SDF1 branded sugar packets?
Did they? I missed that part.
SDF1 sugar packets. This is
Oh
cool. This
man,
is
I'm
cool.
jealous.
Um, yeah, the coffee cups. I get knowing what I know about like the Navy and such. Like that's a thing. Like your ship is gonna
Yeah.
have like branded or whatever bespoke like coffee mugs and that kind of stuff. Like usually I think it's for like officers and the captains and that kind of stuff, but that's a thing, and I thought it was a cool touch. um
Right.
and also I want one now. I really want it.
Right. No, 100%.
I would drink, yeah, I mean I drink coffee like a lot, but
I don't know. I'd like want different kinds of like I'd want different mugs. Like I'd want an SDF1 obviously. I want a what is the Crimson Tide the sub they had? I want a mug with the designation of the Crimson Tide sub on it.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
I want mugs like that. Like just like well, what do I feel like today? Insubordination? Yeah, sure, I'll have that. That's
But these
such a good
sugar
movie.
packets, these SDF1 sugar packets, though,
That's
that's
so
I feel
good.
like that. I feel like that's one of those things that like somewhere out there, there's like a Lisa Hayes cosplayer out there that just like has some of those that she's made like in her pocket of her
Right.
costume. Like when
Yeah.
if you're at a con, and you're like having coffee or whatever, she's like, oh, here, let me give you some sugar, and you're like,
Oh,
SDF1 sugar, like
as long as she's very boring and mousy, that works.
Right.
Otherwise,
yeah.
no.
And judgmental.
Yeah.
And judgmental, yeah.
Oh,
I can see that. Like, you guys ever watch? You guys know about Mrs. Fallout? You guys know Mrs. Fallout?
I
Mm-mm.
don't think so.
She's she's on like Instagram. She does these little reels of her just like making these like screen accurate Fallout props.
Oh, nice.
It's very cool. There's no dialogue, there's no talking or anything like that. It's just like her like a 45-second thing of her like, here's something I got from a thrift store. I'm gonna turn it into Fallout, and it's very cool. It's really neat.
Hey, right on.
Yeah. But what's not really neat is Minway ramble on about how she wanted to be a singer, and on and
And
on.
Rick is pulling the whole like I bet if I like support her and tell her how nice I bet she sings that she'll want to kiss me. He's doing that for the entire episode.
Rick is in it to win it in this episode.
I'm
100%.
like, dude, pull back a little bit, man.
As soon as she said, "Oh, I want to be an entertainer," I was like, "Uh-oh. We're
I
here
knew
now."
I
The worst
knew
part
where I
about
was
that,
going.
it continues for half this show. So
Right.
please, yeah.
Well, also, when she says that, she was like, "Oh yeah, I always want to be an entertainer," and Rick's just like, he just totally makes it about himself. He's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to be a pilot." It's like, yeah, well, I trained. I went to school to learn how to dance. Like, yep, I won the amateur flying contest 8 years in a row, and like he just makes everything about himself. This
Oh, yeah.
dude,
Right.
this dude is cut out to be in the military. This dude is absolutely
Yeah.
Right.
military. So, but here we go. Here's the tuna.
As soon as we saw it, I blocked out this from my memory. I remember all the awkward stuff where they're hanging out in the cargo hold this entire time. I forgot about the tuna, and that would just made me laugh. I was at work, like watching this, like between like doing whatever I'm doing, like, what the hell is that? No. And it's
Guys,
so big.
I feel like we had a completely different experience on the tuna because I really want to set the stage of they're looking out the window near the airlock again and they see the giant tuna And Min May says the line here. Let me find it. I wrote it down here. That sure is a big tuna fish. Did I completely lose it to that line? I absolutely did. I've watched it. I watched it twice because I'd watched this last week and I watched it as a refresher again today. Both times, completely lost it for that. Sure, here's a big tuna fish. And then when after that, when they both say to each other in stereo, "tuna fish," I lose it again. Both times. I love this.
Oh, I swear I do not
So,
remember this
do they
ever.
cover why the tuna fish is so big?
That's how big
I'm
tuna.
assuming the
Tuna are
implication
tuna.
is
No,
that
they're big.
Zentradi have
Tuna
big
naturally
tuna
get
fish, but
massive.
why would it be out there?
Because they took a
It's part
chunk
of
of
the
the
water.
ocean. Because like when they space folded, there was that big sphere around the SDF-1,
Mhm.
and it was close enough to the ocean that it took a chunk of water out with it. That
Okay,
water,
I understand that they would have taken fish from the water, but why is that tuna fish so huge?
because it's
I,
that tuna get that big. Tuna like naturally get that big.
I think I know
That
they
tuna
get
is like as
huge.
big as a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get about that big. I mean, if you catch a tuna like as a commercial fisherman, if you catch a tuna like they get that big, and I mean you can make like 100 grand off of one. Like they
I
get
am learning
massive.
something new
Yeah,
Oh
no
yeah.
on
joke.
the
I want
More
to
Than
watch
Meets These
videos.
Guys podcast. I thought this was a continuity era, but they had their
No, they
first in
get
order.
those things get massive. Yeah,
Okay.
they are.
All right.
Yeah.
I did
Look,
not know that.
my
Why they
wife
call him the chicken of the sea? That's like the buffalo of the sea.
that's like the emu if you're going to eat anything.
Right.
So I'm gonna go and watch like my wife loves watching Alaskan like homesteader videos and shows. I'm gonna go see if I can find like some North Sea guy catching a tuna, reeling it onto a boat. I want to see how big these things are. If that's like Jaws size.
Right.
That you're gonna need like no, you don't need a boat. You need one of those barges that the bottom opens up in the back. And you can pull it in and pull the drop back up. That thing's giant. I can't. And I, he's terrible because he has his two things to propel him. Like one
Right.
like, what's it, cans or something? I can't
I
remember.
think they're cans of oxygen.
Yeah, I think probably, he's like, okay, here he goes. He jettisons there to the tuna. He's got like a strap holding him onto the ship, grabs the tuna and brings it back, then opens the other can of air, and he's like running towards. And I like this because this is very good, it shows you how the vacuum of space and little propellants can work really well. And this thing is like there, he's flying back, but he gets to the ship and he's running out of air, and he gets kind of caught up, and he's dying. He's trying to grab his mask and stuff. He's like, suffocating, and it falls on him. All he had to do is get out of the way. Literally, it's like Eric could be like, "Yep, okay," and the whole thing would go in there. They would be eating for months. But
Well,
no,
Right.
he was well. I think he was losing. A, he was running out of oxygen.
yeah,
B, he was going from being weightless to going in right where there was a gravity, and it
yeah,
pulled him down on top of it. I mean, that's how
I
I read it anyway.
I I think the most amazing part of this whole sequence of you know he's with this girl that has shown nothing but the fact that she's just wacky up until this point, that she can be trusted with no practical things, and he's like, hey, work the airlock for me. And to
Yeah.
be fair, she does a good job with the airlock, but that was very optimistic on his part.
Yeah,
yeah.
that could have ended very poorly, and it
Yeah.
kind of did. It kind of did though.
It kind of did because they ended up with just a fish head.
It was a fish head, yeah.
But that's a big fish head. There,
But it's a big fish head, so they could still get a lot of usable fish off that fish head.
the best part of that, the next scene when he's got the burner and this fish head is on top of the burner.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you can't find some piece of meat, some kind of metal to carve off like slices of meat. You're gonna make a fish head roast out of this whole thing.
That's pretty Chinese.
What
Though.
is? But I
Yeah,
mean, that's
but
you don't cook a do you cook a 200-pound tuna head on fire?
sure,
Is
why
that
not?
Chinese?
I mean,
Okay,
dude,
what else?
that poor fish's face looks about like my face watching this episode. Um, so, by the way, the biggest tuna ever caught was 15 feet long and weighed 1,500 pounds.
Holy crap.
It's
Yeah,
big
and
fish.
you can regularly apparently you can catch 500 to 800 pound tuna on a regular basis, and they sell for like a $500,000. So
That's a big fish. This was much bigger than that, but yeah,
this
that's
was
still a
this was
big fish.
bigger than that. But I mean, it's this is like in the South Pacific,
Yeah, yeah. This is Optimus Prime's trailer,
I
big.
don't know, but
Like
maybe it was
Prime
some
unit.
protocol.
I've ate a good bit of tuna in my life. For some reason, this makes me feel bad about it.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't know they were such big, magnificent creatures.
they're
They're
not
beautiful
always.
fish too.
They're not always, but tuna's delicious though.
Yes, very much so.
But
Um,
oh my God, we get a song. Oh,
This is what I'm glad Odell didn't catch me watching. Oh
oh
my
no.
God. My as soon as she starts singing, I was like, oh God, it's happening already. I didn't think it would happen already. I thought we had a few more episodes.
This feels like the last Unicorn Mia Farrow singing kind of like song, and it just like it was bad. It was very like not it was like off-brand Disney princess singing. But very very true to early anime.
Right.
And my I'm getting flashbacks to my boyfriend as a pilot now. And I know this is gonna get worse. So I might as well enjoy this now because this only lasts for like 10 seconds at most.
it seemed like it lasted for the entire episode.
Yeah.
This was nah.
This is setting the stage for Macross being cool fighters in space and music. Team
Right.
titles. That's
Right.
what Macross is.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. No, it
I don't know. It's
100%
like
is.
it's kind of it's a lot of times it's kind of easy to ignore that, and in Robotech, like when you get into the later Macross stuff, it's just like these dudes are just like playing guitars through
Macross
their
7, yeah.
this is still it is much silliness, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I've got that Fire Valkyrie over there. As a matter of fact, he's over there playing guitar in the cockpit
that's
and
that
fighting.
is actually that is a pretty cool robot. But
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. So it's Rick is just like enamored by her, and once again he's trying way too hard. He's just like, yeah, Miname, you have the best voice. I can't remember what he says, but he's like fawning over her. Seeing,
And
well, they're gonna
and
get like
she
fake married and all this stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah,
oh
she
yeah,
she she says something to the effect of, and I'll never get to be my true dream to be a bride. And I
right.
was like, this being is crazy.
oh yeah,
And then
oh,
Rick immediately is like, hey, let's fake a wedding. In it to win it, man.
That was a strong move too. He's
Yeah.
like, man, I'm gonna strike with iron's hot, man. Or she wants to do this. We may die. I'm gonna go out strong.
so then they go to kiss, and then like a bomb falls through the ceiling. Like finally, I get some kind of war thing going on. This is okay. This is like
Dude, what is that thing? And never explain it. It's just a
they
piece
don't.
of
They're like
debris.
maybe it was a Zentradi bomb, maybe it was a missile, and that was it. And then here comes the mayor of Macross City coming up, and hey, look, it's midnight down there. And dude, so we find they've been down there for 12 days, and they have somehow rebuilt all of Macross City inside of the SDF-1.
I am so impressed with how efficient they have been. I guess they had nothing else to do but rebuild. They're probably like, well, you know what? I want my restaurant to look like this. Let's get a crew of people. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of like Space Mormon stuff going on here. They got together and built each other's houses overnight. It's like it's cool, man. I'm really happy with that. Let's go.
I
It
mean,
really was very fast work.
it was really fast, and because it's already like blocked out like city blocks and
Mhm.
stuff like that. They even said they're like, "Oh yeah, we've got the survivors organized by city blocks." I'm like, "We
I
got city blocks inside a spaceship."
I also assume we never got to see it, but Roy pouted through all this work.
Oh, he was so. Oh, he was insufferable.
Mm. I'm a fighter ace. I can kill people. And you're like, yeah, well, I need you to hold the level steady. Like, all right.
Also, Jason is so happy to see Min May in this. He must have just had a soda. Like his blood sugar must have been just right.
Well, they probably have soda like on tap at that restaurant.
Right.
Dude,
I
I
bet he's
gotta
just
say, man,
fountain making suicides.
Jason is one character who always shows up in the episodes. He's always
Yeah.
there.
He's there. Oh, he's there. Yeah.
I want to see how long he holds out. I mean, he's gonna be like recurring character? It's like, it's, you have like the credits, like the guy like Rick Hunter, Roy Foker, Lisa Hayes, and special guest star Jason.
Jason.
Like, so he's in it the entire time, man. But they come out and she is so excited about everything they built, and he's like, "Wow, we've been down there 12 days." No one's like, "We thought you were dead. We went and rode you off and had a funeral." Nothing like that. You know,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
I
No,
mean,
they were all kind of like, we figured this was going to work out.
I,
So
I
we just
mean,
went about our work.
there's 70,000 people that
Yeah.
they've been dealing with. I don't think that. I mean, like two
but it's
people is like,
Min-May.
look, I'm sure that there's hundreds of other people that they're still trying to find in this thing.
They're
Right.
they're burning a an altar in there to Min-May's memory with a picture of her and like incense sticks in that restaurant.
But Minmay just drops Rick, dude.
Right.
Done.
She like the whole crowd. Oh, hey, Minmay, and she is just like, she's done with Rick. That the fake wedding was double fake. It was a scam fake wedding. She's no part of him. Doesn't want to be a bride anymore. Just wants to
You know,
go be a Chinese.
I didn't really remember this about this show, but it was kind of ahead of its time in that this is what it's like to date a popular girl. A popular girl's going to drop you when the attention of the crowd shows up.
Oh
It's
God,
just
you're
going
not
to be
wrong.
part of the thing, like
You're not wrong.
most 80s movies was trying to convince us that any geek could land a cheerleader and then he would be the center of her world. This is more real life.
Oh man,
And he's not even a geek. He's a pilot. He's a cool guy.
Cool. Yeah, he wears an
80s,
ascot.
But,
80s
but he's
movies
still
like
just
that
a
are
cool
problematic.
guy. He's not a
Yeah.
crowd.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly. So
80s movies like that were kind of problematic, so we
a
don't want to
bit.
go too far into that.
They've
We're into
messed up so
nerds.
many people, and I'm so glad we're beyond that. You know what? A cheerleader doesn't want to date a guy who paints models. Like she doesn't want to date a guy who collects comics. She wants to date a jock because she's a jock. They have common interests.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about this when we talked about the Michael Bay Transformers movie, where like why would I don't understand why Shia LaBeouf's character was trying to hang out with the cool kids when they don't like him. They don't like him.
Right,
Why you
right,
want to
right.
try to hang out with him? Like,
I guess he's into like sweaty, dirty girls also, like the entire time. Who
Well,
like
but also even with that, he should have had no chance with her because she was super capable, and he's a bumbling idiot.
oh yeah, oh no, he
it's
totally, he
you
totally
know
will.
there's the old like thing like it's probably very sexist of me to say girls always want to date someone like their dad. I mean,
Right.
if they hang out here, dad was a loser who was a really shitty person, and she found him like, well, this is the guy, obviously.
Right. Right.
I mean, smurfing bad.
So
Um,
that was it. That was the end of the episode. Midnight drops Rick, and that's like, and then in the next episode of Robotech, we get more action in that like 4 second clip we got in this entire episode here. I was like, that was about okay. I want to see that. I'll come back tomorrow for that.
see, the thing I love about the next episode, Transformation is what it's called, is I remember what happens in this, and it shows how bad they are at space travel. Again, this is
Kind of, I mean,
not.
they're kind of bad. They're really not very good. The only person
No.
that's really good at anything so far in this is Roy. He just good. He
Oh, Roy is
just doesn't kill
fantastic.
him.
I mean, like, let's be honest. Rick Hunter really isn't bad at a lot besides wooing girls into having underage weddings under in the cargo
Well,
van.
he's. I mean, he's kind of an idiot now because there's a thing in anime that I read once where a guy was like deconstructing how anime works, and like the hero in anime a lot of times is at the beginning is generally like unlikable,
Right.
and they do that apparently because in Japanese culture they think that if the hero starts out as capable out of the gate, then it's not fair that
Right.
he doesn't get to learn anything and get
Well,
better.
yeah.
So,
Look at
um,
Kaneda. Oh, speaking of
Kaneda's an idiot all the way through though. Kaneda
well,
doesn't.
Kaneda is he's an idiot, but he learns stuff and he kind of he changes as the movie goes on. He's
Yeah.
not like a pill popping punk guy by the end of the movie. He's like he's found this girl, he wants to be better, and his best friend or the guy he runs around behind him all the time is now a mass of flesh and psychic energy. But I digress.
Right.
So yeah. All right. Well, where are we on the long wait?
I, man, I feel like I'm going to be the outsider on this one. So first of all, um, this was a bottle episode. Like there's no antagonist. It's just some of our main characters trapped in a situation trying to get out of it. And as a kid, I hated bottle episodes. I felt like they almost like didn't count. Why are you wasting my time with this? And I think I can remember not liking this episode. So Kid Brain, this is the one that I've gotten the best use out of Kid and Adult Brain with. Because
Okay.
Kid Brain of this probably would have given it two uh Andy and Helen escape from the cave in, only to find out that Barney has organized a search party. So then they go back to the cave so Barney can rescue them. Which is the best bottle episode ever, but it only gets two of them. Uh, Adult Me, I kind of loved this episode, guys. It was wacky. I hated the song, but I like a bottle episode more as an adult. I see now that it's a time to learn about your characters. Um, and I just enjoy this was kind of my favorite watch of all the episodes so far. The only thing that keeps it from being perfect for me is the song, because the song was awful. But I'm
Yeah.
going to give it for that time the X-Files just did the thing.
Wow. All right. They did that a lot of
Um,
times.
yeah.
But
Uh,
there's that one episode
They
particular,
did
Ice.
something.
It's just the thing. It's
yeah.
in like a polar station. Nobody can trust anybody because they all think the other one's an alien. It's just the
Right.
thing.
That's a good episode.
It's a
Um,
great episode.
I got to say real quick before I go into what I'm about to say here. We're going to find a way to do the Transformers movie for this next week, and I say this
Okay.
because Ron Friedman just passed away. Ron Friedman is the guy who wrote the movie. He's the guy responsible for a lot of the Transformers the movie stuff. He
Oh,
just
okay.
passed
Oh,
away.
wow.
Yeah, I was actually trying to get him for
What?
an interview, but he yeah.
Well, you know what I was going to suggest, in the vein of it's better to ask for forgiveness than
Yep.
permission. The worst thing that can happen is they just pull it and then we have to remake the episode about one of the coolest things ever. Oh
Yeah.
darn.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about. I'm gonna try to see if I can put the picture in the screen, and then like if comes to worst, I'll just remove it or something. But so yeah. Anyways, big salute to Ron Friedman. So we're definitely doing it now. So I'll get that
Okay.
going. Also, yeah, this episode. This episode is one of those things. It is a staple of all Macross, all the anime series. It really is. You're going to have that one slow episode after you have a lot of action, and it's supposed to be building character. You get to know your characters better, and it always comes off kind of rough. The animation in this, like you said, there's a lot of cell pictures going in front of the cells, and then there's her feet, and then there's her butt. That one scene. It's honestly, I didn't mind it near as much as I think that I did. It's like me hating the girl who loved Powerglide because I have a lot more invested in that. I have a whole lot invested in Robotech. So this was just me going, how much weirder is this going to get, man? And loving every minute of it. And her singing badly like Mia Farrow and the Last Unicorn is icing on top, man. It's perfect. And then the wedding, my God, I was just like, don't do it, Rick. Don't, man. Just don't. You don't want this. You're gonna meet a very boring lady later who is on the bridge. You're gonna be much better off. Spoilers. They're gonna make you kiss her on some karate ship later on. That's love. This is
Right.
not love. So it honestly, the tuna cracked me up so much, but I forgot about tuna fish. I was laughing at that. I forgot all about that. I'm so
You
glad you
killed
brought it up.
me.
That was so good. How they're looking at tuna fish. That was the highlight of the episode. So I got it, man. I have to give this a good 2.5 suffocating 15-year-olds in space out of 5 or 4, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
um I I should say something I meant to mention. I again supporting my theory. I think that this was originally supposed to be all the bottle episode, and the stuff that happened outside of it was added in.
Yeah.
All the bad animation is in the outside of the stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
That's where they just like show pictures and stuff.
In
You might be
SDF
onto
form
something.
and
Yeah, I'll
stuff.
have to look into that. But yeah, you might be onto something there. I don't know that I like I all of like macro SDF Macross, but I don't. It's been a long time. I don't really remember it terribly well, but
Also, I didn't think of this till you just said it like that, but tuna fish almost seems like an homage to Candy from Speed Racer.
Kind of does actually.
You know how the
oh,
little kid was
huh.
always go
Yeah.
nuts for candy, he'd always be
Oh
like,
yeah, Chim Chim.
Candy.
Spritle.
Yeah.
I think it's Chim
Huh.
Chim and Spritle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
again, a second week in a row, a Speed Racer reference. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
That was a
I
good
gotta
show.
watch that again, man. I gotta put that on our list.
Mhm.
So this man, this was rough for me because, like I said before, this is that one where I always stall out. Um, I really wish there would have been something else going on in it. But then again, see what it reminds me of is like when you get an album and like the first couple tracks are absolute bangers.
Mhm.
And then you get to that one track where they like, all right, guys, we're gonna slow it down a little bit. And you're like, oh, don't slow it down a little bit. I don't want that. I don't want to see it when you play live either. I don't want to slow down. I want to hear tracks one and two. That's what I want to hear. Track one and two.
I can tell you a perfect example of that.
So
Thin
then
Lizzy Jailbreak. When you get to that song where he decides he's Van Morrison.
yeah,
Oh my God, I hate that track.
I don't like that song either.
Good.
But so yeah, I really wish they would have. I feel like they could have interspersed like something. They could have had like even like a couple of minutes
Mhm.
of like a battle scene or something like that going on outside. I mean, something going on or
Mm.
like convey the building or something. But
Right.
it just it hit that grind and like the tuna was like. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but it's just like in my brain, it's been ingrained in that for so long that I'm just like, oh God, not the tuna episode again. And this is like I said, this is usually where I tap out. I'm just like I have these grand designs to watch all of Robotech, and then I hit
Mm.
this episode, and I'm like, nope, not watching any more of this. Or I get to it, I'm like, I know what's coming up, and I'm like, I know I'm going to be mad. I know that I'm going to be mad at that episode, so I'm just going to skip over it and skip over it.
I'm gonna have
So
to get a soundbite of that for this episode.
um,
Tuna fish.
so for that reason, Kid Brain would have just been I would have been angry. I would have gone to school like just given away Veritech fighters at this point. I would have
I'll take
proclaimed
one.
my allegiance back to Voltron or Mighty Warbots or something. So
Oh,
Kid
nice.
Brain Kid Brain has to just has to give this episode a single chicken of the sea, one chicken of the sea out of five. But Adult Brain, honestly, um, I didn't hate it. Like I think watching it with like the critical eye and watching it like knowing that we're gonna goof off and laugh about it. It made me dislike it less. I still don't like this episode, and I still feel like it's like a wall after after the first three or so. It's just like thing after thing after thing, and then and all this, and then it's like you hit this like it screeches to a halt, and there's cool stuff going on. There's giants bombarding the earth with lasers. Show me some of that, or show me like Roy doing something besides his face on a screen It was like
Right.
it wasn't even like hey, you didn't even see him. You saw like him talking over the comms, and like um, uh, and the men may still like it's like I've said before, man. I don't care about the singing stuff. I think it's silly. And it's not what I take away from this. But so for that, I mean, Adult Brains, I don't know, maybe I was just in a good mood or something. But Adult Brain will give it three Black Sabbath Planet Caravan, where they slow it down after two absolute bangers of tracks and into some thing with bongos and a
Okay,
talk.
but Planet Caravan is a banger.
Planet
Oh,
Caravan
dude,
It's
I
is
love
awesome.
that
no,
so
no.
much.
Planet Caravan is a banger, mostly in that it's a perfect lead into to Iron Man because Iron Man
That's true.
and it's really cool. But I mean, like I mean, yeah, that's just a sign of maturing, isn't it? Realizing how much banger it is. So when you're a
You,
kid, you skip over that one. But it's just like on the Stooges' first album, you skip over "We Will Fall." Now you're like,
yeah.
man, "We Will Fall" is like 8 minutes long. You're like, y'all got a 15-minute version of "We Will Fall." I want to hear more of that Hari Rama chanting. That was cool. So yeah.
I I will say I think the biggest detraction you can say from this episode is if you were like 9 or 10 years old and you turned on the TV and this was the first episode of this show you saw,
Done.
you wouldn't come back.
No, absolutely
You
not.
know, you would think I need to remember not to watch that show.
Oh yeah, like it's just a bunch of talking.
Right.
They're just hanging on a hanger and a bunch of talking.
Right.
It's like every time somebody tried to get me to watch Smallville, all I ever saw was a dude hanging out in a
Mm.
cave with no shirt on. I'm like, I don't want to see this. And now that I know what I know about Smallville, I don't want to see any more of it either. But yeah, so that's it. That's the long wait. Yeah. When you guys want to
Yeah,
take
I
us
mean,
out?
yeah,
Dinner.
man.
It's dinner time. We're recording late today. It's dinner time.
We are. Yeah,
Right.
we're recording late. I'm gonna make some. Dude, I'll make some clam chowder from scratch. So good. I'm about to make some more.
Well,
Y'all,
next week will be the thing.
we're
It's,
gonna do this next
the
week.
main event.
I've already told Boo. I've told Reverend Ruin from our Discord. I'm gonna plan this out. We're gonna have a watch party on this thing. It's gonna be good. And you haven't watched it yet, have you, Ed?
No, I still haven't watched it.
I want to see your reaction. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited about that.
I
Jay,
bought
who
it.
knows? Jay, who knows
I
when that
bought it,
music hits?
but I haven't watched it yet. So
Oh
yeah. So okay.
God.
I mean, I really think one aspect of, I'll talk about it before we see it, that's ahead of its time is you really didn't until the 90s see movies like Boogie Nights or something where every single second of the movie had a soundtrack.
Yeah.
But every single second of this movie has a soundtrack.
And I love that you brought that up because there's a reference in Boogie Nights that references.
There is, that's true. That was totally Freudian. I didn't even think of that.
I thought you did that on purpose.
No, I really didn't.
Man, I want you to watch Rocky 4 and listen to that music and absorb the Vince DiCola. And you're gonna be so happy you did.
Yeah.
I have the Rocky soundtrack. That's my gym mix.
You're gonna love this so much. I can't wait, man. It's gonna be so good.
All right.
I'm so excited. Y'all
Let's
take
do
it
it.
easy.
So,
Have a great week.
Let's take us out.
All right. Jay, why don't you take us out of here?
Me? I'm not prepared for this. Don't put me on the spot for this.
All right. I'll take us out. Tuna fish.
Tuna fish.
More Than Meets These Guys, a Transformers podcast, is performed by Evan Johns, Boo of the AxelonUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Research is done by Evan Johns, Boo of the AxelonUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Special thanks to Hasbro, Marvel, Skybound, and the occasional extra property which we will name at whatever time is appropriate for that episode. And without all of you, this is really not even possible. So thanks for being here, and thanks for checking us out every week. Goodbye.